Hi, I'm Neil, and I'm currently living in Taipei, Taiwan.
Hi, I'm Simon Delarivia, and I currently live in Stellenbosch, South Africa.
We are twins, and we like to discuss tech topics. We each episode we discuss two topics. I choose one, Simon chooses one, but we keep the topics hidden until we film the show.
And this is Twin Tech Talk.
Cool.
Okay, let's go. Rock, paper, scissors.
Okay, rock paper scissors.
Okay. One,
One.
2, 3.
What is it? Oh no, you win again. Okay.
I never win at this. For some reason, I keep winning this. You always won rock, paper, scissors. Okay. So my topic is I've been following this for a while, and it's difficult to me to make up my mind about where it's going and so forth. So the topic is app.net, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So I was one of the first people that signed up when it was news and so forth. Just to iterate to people that don't know what app.net is. App.net is a social service that I'm just gonna. They have a specific tagline for it. It's an ad-free social network where the user is the one they look after, and the members and developers are the important people. They don't want ads. So it's basically, if you would explain it to a friend, it's a paid-for social network, and that's that, right? But
Yeah.
I'll tell you now how they sell it. They say it's App.net is an ad-free social network. It's your real-time feed, home for meaningful conversation where you control your data, find the apps you love and make App.net your own. Connect, play, and discover. So then they have these different tiers. Monthly is $5 a month. Yearly is $36 a year. And then developer is $100 a year. Okay.
Yeah.
So I signed up initially when the whole thing started. It was sort of like a Kickstarter crowdfunded thing.
Yeah.
And then it started, everyone's really excited about it because that's the point when Twitter went screw all other developers. We are tightening up the API and kicking people off and putting limitations on and so forth. So it was like perfect storm basically for this to start. But now I've been using it for the past few months, right, since it started. Yeah. And I know a lot of people join and I don't see them tweeting anymore, right? Or whatever the verb is, up posting statuses anymore.
Yeah.
And I only see like few regular people posting on app.net, and it's sort of the feed to me is not that interesting as compared to Twitter, right? But I guess the bottom line is it's how I use it, right? So if I want to see more interesting stuff, I should follow under interesting people and like tell them to post their links there instead of on Twitter, right?
Yeah.
So the what I want to discuss and to think about is that when each time they post like on Hacker News and talk about app.net, people say like they don't see why they would pay for it or what's the value and so forth. And I think to me that's an interesting problem because if you think about it, right, and obviously there's a lot of products that you also can use this argument with, right? $5 a month is nothing. More so, $36 a year. Okay, it's nothing, right?
Yeah,
you can buy $5 with about it's not even 2 beers, right? So you it's for not even 2 beers a month, you can have an ad-free social network, and technically that's a bargain, right? But obviously they don't sell it as that, right? And I'm not suggesting they should sell it as that, but if people come and they see $36 a year, that's difficult to gauge if they can get value out of it and so forth.
Yeah.
So, and we've had these discussions previously in the past where how they must market themselves and how they must position themselves. So, what do you think? Perhaps I've read that maybe they're gonna with the new
the file
API
API
that they launched. Yeah,
Mm.
they have like 10. You get 10 gigabytes of file storage, right? But it's not obviously. It's not as in you get the Dropbox type of space.
Yeah.
It's for the apps that you use with app.net that get to use that space,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
Would you say there's another way to market it, or how it? So the one thing is, do you think if they want to be more successful, it's like more people sign up, that they might have to approach it differently than selling it as an ad-free social network?
Because you got me onto app.net in the start, but I didn't buy a developer account. I just wanted like a normal user account because I thought, this is something interesting. Let's buy an account and let's just see how it is. And at first I was very interested in it, but my interest really quickly dwindled. I still post to it, like when I buffer links or whatever, I still post links to it. But my sort of idea of app.net, where it can excel, is actually more from a developer perspective than a user perspective, in that the API, and you probably know more about this in terms of the API and what they're trying to do with the API, is more from the sense of because coming from, I also create my own websites and code my own websites and things like that, is that if I want to create like that kind of structure in the website, to have an API I could just like build a structure like that can that provide this immediate network instantly, well, pretty much instantly, is something that has a lot of value.
And you can basically do any kind of social service you want with app.net. It's very broad, with the annotations and the file storage and anything. They basically provide the infrastructure for you to make any kind of social service you want, and you don't have to even like it doesn't even have to live inside of the app.net like normal stream. It can all be just machine posts. If I say you do machine post, right, it doesn't come up in any feed unless the type of app knows what to look for when they call the API.
Yeah.
So, for example, it's a great example of this is Patter, right, which is a sort of chat app on app.net.
Yeah.
So the post you make in this chat room is actually on your app.net account.
Yeah.
As a normal feed type system, but it doesn't appear if you would use it as, say, Twitter-like service. So there's this range of stuff that can be developed on it. But the other thing is like, cool, that's fine. But now, if I want to do this, then I have to make people go and sign up for app.net. And that
is exactly the barrier of entry. That, unfortunately, that's because, like I said, like I would have thought, like, maybe I can create some sort of like language learning network with this app.net or something. But then I realized like that people can't use it in a free way without buying an app.net account first, and that's sort of like the biggest but annoying barrier.
What's interesting now?
app.net.
Yeah,
like maybe.
What's interesting now? I read that read an interview with the founders of app.net, and they said that there's a possibility that they'll make the Twitter-like service of app.net free.
Yeah.
And then all the like novel, useful stuff on top of it that say accesses the file API or so forth, then you'll have to pay for it.
Yeah.
So that it means that they can ramp up a lot more users with it.
Yeah.
And then sort of get people into using the more, killer apps.
Yeah.
So that's the interesting possibility. But just to come back a bit, what I was referring to back in the beginning, right, is that it's an interesting example because I can see them going, okay, we want this to be really successful, so we're gonna have to market it to a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
Mainstream people, moms and stuff like that, and they won't see the value of an ad-free social network. It's just not. As developers and tech people, we see the value in it, and we understand that, okay, we'd rather pay for a social network, right?
Yeah.
And then, of course, I think they'll have to change their whole way of selling it, right?
Yes,
but
definitely.
That comes to the point that we assume that that's what they want to do, right? It might be that the case that they might want to keep it as like a small niche network for a while. I saw now you can go to the site. I think it's appnetizens.com. You can see how many new people sign up a day, and it's really not a lot. It's like don't remember the amount, but it's like not even in hundreds. It's like less than that.
Oh, okay.
It's like a very few people sign up a day, and that could be fine though if they want to develop it as this kind of thing. And I also think it's perhaps a more sustainable way of doing it, to do it like this now and keep it going while they're still building it. Remember,
that's a
like
good point.
Aptonet even isn't even 6 months old yet, right?
Yeah.
And they've already done incredible things. So this is now sort of the incubation period where it's sort of focused on like being a developer-based thing, niche thing where only tech people understand the value, building like a network effect going, get developers to build something, and then when that succeeds, then they go, they have the runway of people paying, then they go, cool, now we're going to launch the free service, ramp up everyone else, and get everyone sort of onto the service.
No. That's a good, definitely a good point. But once again, in terms of the value proposition of buying something that's going to be free, and they're not going to sell your information, of all those kind of like issues that people usually have with open social networks, is that you're like, but see, like, I personally didn't buy an App.net account because I want a free account, or I want control over my information, or no ads or anything. That's not why I'm not one of those people that are scared of that kind of like. Well, some examples are worse than others. Like Facebook, the ads are getting ridiculous in your feed and whatever.
No, it's interesting, right? But before I continue, each time when I open a Facebook and I see like you see like massive ad in your stream, right?
Yes.
And then I take a screenshot, and I've took about 10 or 12 already, where you can see the actual content on the page. It's literally like such a small line. That's the actual content. 3/4 of the page is just ads.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. But you see, I mean, that's kind of point. Like I don't think it might annoy people, but the value of staying on Facebook and stuff is still more than.
But see, that's my point. Like
it's tolerable for a lot of people.
The thing is, like, if like the unique implementations of App.net apps has to be something. Someone has to create a killer thing with App.net for people to actually say, I understand the value of this right now. But at the moment, like you said, people don't understand why you would want to pay for something that's like Twitter.
Yeah.
That's exactly the people's going to argue and going to be, well, it's like Twitter. Why do I have to pay for it?
But I mean, yeah, that's true.
And that misunderstanding for the general, like even I don't use it that often anymore, because I realize that I would rather use Twitter in that sense, because my network is bigger. Not only my own network, but the people and the interests and the people that I can find in sort of like serendipitous way is a lot bigger. There's
that's
like
true.
The chance of better information there is higher on Twitter at the moment than App.net. You've only got a very focused community on App.net, and only very specific kind of stuff going on there, and that's not necessarily what I want at this moment. But I wanted App.net to just see what it is, and that's why I bought an account. And hopefully, in the future, someone will create something that makes App.net its use case. It's still
the thing is, I think given the founder's experience, like Dalton and so forth, that they have a good experience, and I probably suspect they know what they're doing. They probably have a long runway for this and vision for this going forward. And my only worry is that at the moment it seems like it's sort of starting to bleed a bit. But like I said previously, it's only because it might be that it's anecdotal evidence of my feed,
exactly.
Right?
No. So I realize that, and maybe there are other people who are maybe like Dalton and everybody looking at the net see something that we don't, like some kind of like user retention statistics or things that they go, this is something big, and we are moving in a direction that's going to change.
You can actually go see all that statistics. Also, you can see like it obviously peaked when it started, and then like although there's sort of this churn happening with new people joining and people not posting anymore, the post rate has been basically the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm still to wrap it up.
Yeah.
In the beginning when I joined App.net, it was being my most successful side projects were Twitter projects. I felt like this is something I need to support, although I'm not sure it will succeed. And it's at the moment it's each time you get back on App.net, you see people doing new interesting stuff, right? So one of the examples is it's sort of related to the community, right? It's called Monday Night Dance Party, where people come and just get into one of the chat rooms and just like get YouTube videos playing and stuff like that. Now they're starting to feature artists and stuff, so that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's each time you get the API gets better, more people join.
Yeah.
New apps get improved, the community gets larger, and so forth. So I mean, I'm still hopeful that it will succeed.
I mean, it is. I think it does for a certain whole in terms of a developer perspective. From a developer's perspective, definitely.
Yeah.
But from user perspective, I'm still waiting for that something special. You know, I'm still waiting to see.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's sort of.
But like I can see that there might be something. There's good momentum, and hopefully it keeps the momentum. Well, I personally haven't been keeping my momentum, but I know there are people, and they will probably keep the momentum going. So hopefully there is, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Each time it's sort of also thinking about developing apps for it, because I have a developer account. It's just for the options there to make something. It has to stay on the top of your mind.
Yeah,
and that's what there are so many possibilities, different things you can actually do with the API. It's once someone gets something completely different out, you're like, oh wait, yes, of course, I can do this very cool thing with this service that I hadn't even thought of. So it's I sort of builds on each other. It should be interesting to see.
Yeah.